Welcome to Messy RealiTea Breakdown with your host,
Ray
and Lily. We're going to go ahead and cover some of our favorite reality TV shows, where we're going to give you a little bit of shade, a little bit of mess, and a little bit of, I have no idea.
Fun. Those would be fun, shade, and a hint or splash of messiness.
A splash of messiness, absolutely.
We just having all good fun here.
Exactly. So the show that we're going to cover is going to be one of my favorites, which is the Real Housewives of Potomac, aka
the Real Housewives of the Brown Paper Bag Test.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of high yellow going on in that show. But I really do love it. So the first season, the first episode rather, is called Mind Your Manners, and it aired on January 16th, 2016. Ray, can you tell me what you were doing on January 2016?
January 2016, it was my last semester of college, and I was so excited to finally be gone. Even though, looking back at it, I did not know a thing about the real world yet. So
yeah, I think I'd already graduated college, but I couldn't even tell you what I did yesterday. I think I was just living my best life out in Virginia Beach, doing God knows what. I would tell you, but I don't want my mom to listen to this. So anyways, let's go into Mind Your Manners. Okay, so the season opens up with Giselle, and she's in the kitchen with her two little daughters.
Wait.
Three.
Three. Should we do the taglines?
Yeah, let's get into the taglines. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Just a little bit of preparation before we get into the episode.
Absolutely. So what did Giselle say? She came in and she says,
the word on the street is that I'm the word on the street.
Right. And I won't go into details yet, but apparently she is the word on the street, but not for the reasons that she may think that she's.
How would you rate her tagline for the first season? 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the suckiest.
I'll give her a -10. All right, so then we have Karen Huger, and Karen Huger says, in Potomac, it's not about who you know, it's who you are, and I'm everything. And I'll give her a 10.
It's definitely her personality. So.
I absolutely agree. Then we have little Miss Katie.
I'm a ball and gala girl. It's my legacy and my calling.
I'll give her about a -30. What would you give her?
-10.
Well. Then we have the Robin Dixon. I don't have a cookie cutter life, and I'm not apologizing for it.
I would give it a 9.
Next, so then Sharice Jackson Jordan goes.
No rating. No rating.
Sharice Jackson Jordan goes, if I don't know who you are, then you are not worth knowing. I liked her.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely Sharice's personality, so 10 out of 10.
I give her a 10 out of 10. Now, there was one housewife that they did not feature yet, but we'll save that for the next episode. Alrighty, so the episode is called Mind Your Manners, and it opens up with Giselle in the kitchen with her 3 daughters, her twins, and her, what was it, Angel? Anyways.
Grace.
Angel, Grace, and Love.
Angel, Adore, and Grace. Those are her 3 children.
That's exactly who they are. And I'm already in the current season, but it's so weird going backwards and just seeing how little and petite they were. They're like little babies.
It's just like that was 6 years ago.
But it feels like it was just yesterday. Exactly. So it's kind of weird. But you see her in the kitchen, and the thing that I like about it is that I feel like Giselle is such an amazing mother, so it makes a lot of sense. Like the first episode would open up with her in the kitchen with her daughters. Like she is a mother before she's anything else.
Exactly.
And so she opens up a little bit about her life with her ex-husband. She said that she was from Potomac. Her father is a very prestigious guy in the world of politics.
He was involved in the civil rights movement, working with MLK. He was a congressman, I believe,
in Texas.
So. Very influential person, comes from a very influential background.
And she, like I said, so she lived in Potomac, then she left. She moved to Maryland to be with her husband. Baltimore, specifically, yes. And she was first lady, even though I saw that liquor sitting up on that counter. But I'm not judging her, girl. Do your thing, baby. But yeah, so first impression, I thought she was absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. And like I said, I love the chemistry she had with her daughter. So then we go into the next scene with Katie.
So Katie is at lunch with her boyfriend
Andrew,
Andrew,
who just got a haircut that she did not notice.
So again, Katie is very upfront about her liking the white men.
Yes.
You know, we love someone who's very transparent.
Yes.
So
listen, I have the spirit of Tamara as well. Tamara from Tia and Tamara. So yes. I get it, Katie. And she said she definitely has a thing for the Jewish boys as well.
Being, I guess, half Jewish herself. So.
And she has like 3 young infant children. Andrew is not the father to any of them, but he kind of steps up in that role of a father. And she's telling him how she wants to get married, and he just gives her like this look of like, I hear you, but I ain't really trying to talk about that right now.
I think it's something that I would say she shouldn't push.
Absolutely. You know, because I feel like when you push that, you push them away.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I'm speaking from experience. Speaking of getting pushed away and marriages, we're talking about Robin. Robin was also in this episode. And oh no, please.
No, so back.
Yes.
Anyway, so Giselle is coming over to Robin's house, and they're just, getting together and having fun.
Absolutely. And you see a little bit of Robin, like, I guess she was on a conference call doing her job. I did not remember that she worked in PR. So it's kind of crazy to see her evolve in her career as the seasons advance. But she was, I guess, packing. And then when she did see Giselle, she had a box with her wedding dress. And it's funny because, she says that in her tagline, that she doesn't have a cookie cutter life and she's not apologizing for it. And she definitely doesn't. She lives with her ex-husband, but they're still co-parenting. They still sleep in the same bed, So it's kind of like they're together without a title, I guess.
I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it.
I guess not.
I guess not.
But it looks like Robin and Giselle had like a friendship prior to the show. They said they were friends like maybe for like 5 years, and everyone kept asking like, do you know each other? And she was like, no, but they keep telling me there's this girl with green eyes that looks like me. So they definitely have a genuine friendship and connection. It doesn't look like something that was put together just for the sake of TV.
And that's what's really good about the Housewives of Potomac, is you can tell that, again, these people, whether they're on the outs or friendly, that they actually have a bond.
Right, they're like genuine friends.
And it makes it, again, that's what makes the show really work.
I agree. And I think that there are other housewife shows. I can't really speak on the other ones, but I know Atlanta, I feel like they've already hit their climax.
Exactly.
And now we're just kind of like, or with Potomac, like it's still just as amazing as it was in the first season, if not better than it was in the first season. And then we have our good old Karen Huger, darling. Karen Huger with
Grand Dame.
The Grand Dame, darling. And with her Black Bill Gates husband.
Which is very interesting to say. I just kind of find it funny. Why would you compare your husband to Bill Gates when you're supposed to be about Black excellence? Shouldn't that just be, this is my husband, Ray
exactly.
Huger, and he is successful in his own right? But
well, I ain't never heard of him. So anyways, I guess so. But their chemistry in their marriage, it feels forced. I don't know. Like, I feel like they put on for TV sometimes.
Yeah. It's like, for me, it's just like, it's like, I agree, but then it's like, I don't want to judge, but maybe there is some chemistry there.
Yeah.
But we are about being messy here, so.
Yeah, I mean, no, they might have genuine chemistry. It's just every time that she's interacting with Ray, it feels like she's bothering him, or he feels, I don't know, this is just how I perceive it. But I really do love Karen. I feel like she had a strong first episode. And she has a birthday.
Exactly.
And this birthday causes a little friction.
So they end up meeting at a burlesque restaurant.
Right, but they don't take their clothes off because Giselle claims it's a
family
friendly. I don't know how, but yes. She was the first to arrive, correct? It was her and then Katie. And so they're just chit-chatting about whatever. And then Shasha and Robin, they arrive next.
And this is where we first meet Charisse. So,
No, I was just going to say Charisse and Robin also had a friendship prior to, because they both are basketball wives. So they had that connection.
And if it wasn't for Charisse, none of this honestly would be, there would not be a Housewives of Potomac.
Clearly. Side note, Good that you mentioned that, because it kind of makes me wonder, because she didn't get, I won't spoil it if you never watched it, but it's just kind of crazy how she kind of put it together.
Mhm.
But let's just say they Mariah'd her. By Mariah, I mean the Married to Medicine. If you watch that show, you'll know what I'm talking about. Moving on.
So we're at the dinner, and they just talking and just catching up.
But for whatever reason, Karen arrives. It is her birthday, and Giselle is seated in the center of the table. And, they realize that's an issue, but no one brings it up on the night of the dinner. Let me ask you, if it was your birthday, do you care about, where you're supposed to be seated?
Personally, for me, I wouldn't really care as long as I have my friends out and we're just celebrating. But I see both sides in this instance because, one, the way the seat... it was kind of like a center of attention, literally. And it's like, for Cam, this is my birthday. I feel like it doesn't really go without saying that I think you should sit here. And it looks for a nice photo and everything like that.
Right, and she's probably the oldest. And I'm not making it an age thing, but I mean, she's the elder of the table. So kind of why not put her in the middle? I personally wouldn't care either. However, she is a grown woman. So I feel like if it bothered her that she was not seated in the center, she should have said, Giselle, can you move? It's my birthday. She didn't. She just kind of sat there and not. That we know of. Yeah, that we know of.
But I see both sides, but I definitely agree in this case more with Giselle, you're a grown woman. Boss up, tell me that,
I would like to sit where you are because it's my birthday.
Exactly.
So we'll put that on the shelf because obviously that became an issue later on in the episode.
So then we get to the crab boil at Sharice's house.
Talk about messy, darling. So they walk up this long driveway. Well, actually, I guess they had the valet. What was the point of the valet if they still had to walk a very long ways to the door? Everyone complained about that.
Was it just to show off and say that I have a valet?
Maybe, but again, why do I have to walk? I'm going up. Anyways, so they're walking or whatever. They get to the door to Sharice's house, and by they, I mean Giselle and her sidekick, her hairdresser. If that's what you want to call it. But anyway. Yeah. So they're like, I don't even know if there's a doorbell here, which I thought was a little shady on their end. But you get into this extravagant home. Sharice opens it, and there's a scene where they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna help you, with the cooking of the food." But then he was like, "Do you want me to help you with your hair?" And she's like, "Yeah, that too."
Which was really an uncalled for. And this is the scene that really bothered me when I understood where Sharice was coming from, because why do you have your friend who is just saying all this random stuff in front of me and just basically making a mockery within my house, and I don't even know him.
And not only do I not know him, but you didn't warn me that he was coming. I feel like sometimes when you have people over your house, if it's just someone that you're an actual friend with, it doesn't matter how the house looks. But when you bring in somebody that you don't know, that's kind of a problem, because it's I don't know you like that to be up in my house.
It's just, I feel like it's basically common sense. And you would think that some people would just be like, okay, well, I'm a guest for my friend. I'm just gonna just be chill and cordial. And
they're so big about the etiquette of Potomac. So if y'all are so big on the whole thing of being polite and having manners, then why would you bring somebody in the house without warning them? But anyways, they're in the kitchen. They have these crabs, and my thing is, if Giselle said that she was gonna help Sharice cook the food, then why was she putting the crabs in the pot as if she never cooked crabs before? I mean, the leg was all spread apart. She put one leg. I mean,
it made no sense.
It really didn't.
I guess she was not trying to, affect her attire. I don't know.
It might have helped it, but yeah. I don't know.
But I will say though, Giselle in this season isn't as bad of a dresser.
No, she's not.
So.
But I think you might be speaking too soon, because we're gonna talk about that hair later. Because you listen, she's gorgeous. In her confessionals, there has not been a look that I have not liked so far. She has a cute little pink dress with a gorgeous pink lipstick. Looks gorgeous. I just wish that was a reflection in the show as well when she goes to the cookout. But anyways, or the crab boil. I'm sorry. And so then this is what I did not like, and I think Sharice had every right to be upset. Sharice goes upstairs goes upstairs to get pampered with her hair, her makeup, and her toes. She's getting a pedicure too. And they're digging all up in.
Which is, I would say, kind of extreme for Crab Boy. But anyway.
I mean, yes. But they're in Potomac, darling. So I just had an issue with them digging all up in her kitchen. And again, Charisse does not know this guy. She knows Giselle, but she does not have any connection to this guy except for their mutual friends with Giselle.
Exactly.
And the fact that they're digging all up in her fridge, pulling out things that look like, you know what, and they're just making noise and stuff.
It's just, yeah.
That would give me anxiety.
Yeah, it's very disrespectful.
Absolutely.
And
it's tacky.
It is. And I feel like Giselle definitely should be called out.
And she should know better. Again,
exactly.
I'm pretty sure she would not want somebody invading her space in that way. Like, it's one thing if you're here to help me, but don't disrespect my home in the process. And so they're making all this noise, and clearly Charisse can hear it, and she's kind of like, you know, what are they doing? Are they digging? And then they're calling for her maid. What was her name? Laura. She's like, Laura. Like, that was, because I would have been like, child, I don't work for you. Why are you calling me? And even Charisse was like, why are they calling her like they pay her or whatever, something to that effect. So I thought that was extremely tacky as well. Pulling out her drawers. You don't pull out my messy drawer. That's like super embarrassing.
Going through cabinets and
I'm like, in the fridge.
Whoa.
Don't put that stuff on the
TV. Even if I'm over your place, I'm not gonna go like in your room and just bring knowledge over your kitchen and stuff. That's just
because that would be the last time you would come over.
She don't wanna. She has some stuff I don't, wanna find.
Exactly. I might have some stuff that she had in the refrigerator as well.
The bigger.
Might be. But yeah, I didn't like that. And you can see that Charisse is visibly like getting more frustrated, more upset. And then the guests start to arrive. And you see Giselle in the little I don't know if it was a half bathroom. She was in a bathroom, and I say this in air quotes, you can't see me, but hairdresser is fixing her hair. I do both of those in air quotes because what in the Rihanna Shut Up and Drive wig was that? I mean, the bangs were heavy. The makeup was heavy, and she's why?
Not the banging.
Not the bang. The bang. My issue is if you're supposed to be my friend and my hairdresser, you would not do something like that to me. That hair was not it.
Yeah.
At all. Let's just give a moment of silence for that wig. All right, moving on. So then the guests start to arrive, and then we have Karen in this gorgeous little yellow ensemble darling. I thought she looked great in her dress. She's definitely come a long way when you see in the future seasons.
I think Karen, just from the beginning, just from the first episode, I don't think she's really that just as bad. I think a lot of it was just first season stuff, which we can get into after we do the breakdown of a lot of stuff that we thought.
Yes, but I definitely feel like Karen, starting off, she wasn't so bad, but she definitely has evolved, and she looks phenomenal now. But she arrives to the party, and there was another friend. I didn't catch her name, but
this was Charisse's friend. The yellow.
And you can tell she's a loyal friend, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But Karen and Giselle have a moment. They're talking, and I guess they were having a conversation about how Charisse was visibly annoyed. And Giselle doesn't seem to understand why Charisse would be annoyed. She's like, because I helped her, with the crabs. Okay, we get that, but you're missing the bigger issues that you're being disrespectful in the home. Yeah,
which, again, I would say, is common sense.
But common sense is not that common. So then, I guess because they were on the subject about being disrespectful, and keep in mind this episode is called Mind Your Manners, Karen goes, well, you know what? While we're talking about it, when I had my birthday, you decided to not let me sit in the middle seat. And Giselle's kind of like,
what?
Yeah. She's like, what?
This is days ago.
Right. And, moving back, actually, before I jump to that, Charisse's friend did not want to be a part of the conversation. And I like that about her. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about my friend. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk to my friend directly. So they kind of have a conversation about that. And Charisse is kind of letting her know, like, no, I did not appreciate them in my home doing the most.
Yeah.
And so now let's jump back to, like I said, Karen and Giselle are in the conversation about the whole seating situation, and there's tension between them about that. And so I didn't even see this bag. Karen brings out this little AKA colored gift bag, real cheap looking, from the Dollar Tree, but that's okay. I don't know why I said that I shop at the Dollar Tree, but anywho, I guess I would know a Dollar Tree bag when I see one. But anyway, so she pulls the bag out, and she has a book about etiquette. If I make that, is that a word, etiquette? Am I saying it correctly? See, I ain't got no etiquette.
We're making up words as we go along.
Yes, we are. And then she has a frame that's mirrored, and it has like all these rules about etiquette. I feel like I'm making that word up.
Make it up.
I'm gonna make it up. And just what you would and would not do for a birthday party. Thought it was a little extreme. And then, you see this scene where Giselle pulls up the mirror and she's playing with that thing on her head again. Yeah.
And basically, it's a to be continued.
It's a to be continued. So I'm excited to see what happens next. So let me just ask you, did you see any winners or losers? Like, can you declare one for this episode?
To be honest, there are no winners in my book. I mean, it is the first episode. It's really hard to determine since we're just getting to know these people. For losers, though,
let's just say it at the same time. We might have the same one. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Giselle.
I was gonna say Giselle.
You left me hanging.
Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Giselle, Karen, and Charisse.
You think all of them are losers?
Losers, not in the way that.
I mean, of the episode.
Okay, so I would say this. This is just my critique. Again, when I watched the episode and just looking back at everything, it's just the elitism, the classism, whatever, was just so strong. I mean, for example, even like when in Atlanta Housewives, it wasn't like, they were, they showed their life, but it didn't come across as they felt like they were better than. I feel like they were extreme, like very like upfront.
Can I interrupt though? Because you remember Nene said, "Ooh, a white refrigerator."
Oh, but that was later seasons.
Yeah, you're right. The first season, everyone was on the same level, but I do feel like they were trying to live beyond their means.
Oh yeah. But it's just like I say these three just because in the first episode they were very like, I would say, like, for example, when Karen's saying that in Charisse's house, why would you talk to the help or something related to that?
Yeah.
Or, and also Charisse stating that just like
I know she called the hairdresser, so everyone was definitely going in on the hairdresser for sure. Calling him the help, calling him the sidekick, which I don't think sidekick is as derogatory as a word of the help. Yeah. And it's crazy because Karen, you grew up on a farm and you had no problem saying that, but then you did act a little bit classist.
Exactly.
The only person that didn't act classist, in my opinion, was the expected, which was Robin. And I really do respect Robin for that.
Exactly. I feel like Robin is very, she doesn't put up fronts. Like, and
I love that about her.
And it's funny, like, I was talking to my friend about this too, and how like I would always say that Robin is just like, it seems to be like a waste on the show. But as I, watch the show more, like I feel like she's definitely needed as a realistic, grounded person.
She's the most grounded. She's always been transparent. She does not hide about her situation. She doesn't run from it. She's not ashamed of it. I do feel like she shares her story to help out people like ourselves. Like, she's not trying to put on this persona of someone that she is not. I love Karen Huger. But Karen definitely is the opposite of Robin. She definitely lives in a different world that, and I can't help but I'm not trying to compare the two different housewives, but Housewives of Potomac with Housewives of Atlanta, but it's kind of like, okay, you have Charisse, and Charisse to me might be like the Candy, not necessarily their work ethic, but as far as like genuinely having money.
Yeah, it's like, I guess this is also just my opinion. I low-key do like Charisse, her boujiness is very her. And it's like you said, she's not putting on. Like, we know like this. She's genuinely
coming from money. And then you have like the delusion of Karen, and I would probably compare that to what's her name? Sheree?
Yeah, but Sheree is definitely worse.
She's absolutely was. No, I don't doubt that at all.
We will also get more into Atlanta when we do this down the line.
Right.
But
absolutely.
And the reason why we're also comparing a lot is because not only are these the Black housewife shows, but it's really the only ones we watch.
Right.
So for anyone out there just trying to understand why we're just talking about either or.
Because I have no... Anywho. But yeah, I kind of compared them. And then Robin, I don't know if there's anybody that's as realistic on Atlanta.
Yeah, that's hard.
It is a hard one.
I would say Deshawn, which she was on, but I know she was on. That's hard.
Well, you know what? I agree, because when Deshawn was on her first season, she was very. I think she was too real of a housewife, and maybe that's why she didn't have any success on the show, because she was grounded. She was not delusional. She was not like. I feel like to be a reality star, you have to have a lack of self-awareness. And so I think that because Deshawn was very self-aware, that might be why that did not work for her. But yeah. But no winners, huh?
No winners. It's hard to say. It's the first episode that no one really stood out. I actually disliked probably everyone. Like when I watched it like 2 years ago, I didn't really care for anyone, but really rewatching the episode now. Maybe like a slight winner. I changed. Yes, or maybe I would say Robin, for the fact that she was very upfront.
Yes.
And I like the fact that she said, I'm not putting on for anyone. I do respect someone who's just not, full of airs. So again, slightly.
Well, you know what? Let's give her the full win. We'll go ahead and throw it to Robin. And I think I'm going to throw it to Charisse too. And it's funny because I was not a fan of Charisse when I first watched it. I wasn't even a fan of her when she came back for this current season. Season, I believe they're 6 or 7. But I think the reason why I'm going to make Charisse a slight winner is because she set boundaries.
Exactly, yeah.
And what really made me feel like Giselle was a loser is because she disregarded boundaries with Karen. She disregarded boundaries with Charisse. They're explaining to you, these are my boundaries. And you're just like, and?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a problem,
Exactly. I mean, respect.
Absolutely.
So.
Alrighty. So what would you rate this episode for our first impression?
For first impressions, I would give it I'm going to give it let's say a 7 out of 10. I think it wasn't too over the top, but I think it gave us enough that, enough that you were interested in watching the next episode.
And you know why I agree with you with 7 out of 10? Because they hit us for the to be continued on the first episode. So they were like, nah, y'all gonna want to watch and see what happens next. So.
And they're really good at doing that on Potomac. The producing team, whoever is it, they know how to...
And they never miss. Because I'm going to tell you, there have been some housewives shows where they've gotten a little bit lazy on the production, but Potomac has been phenomenal. It really is my favorite reality show of all time, but definitely my favorite out of the Housewives franchise. So yeah.
Only little slight that I have, just a little comment, is that they do talk a lot about how Potomac is, but most of these housewives don't live in Potomac, FYI.
That part.
The only housewives in the first season that lived in Potomac were Charisse and Karen. I don't think that Giselle lived in Potomac.
I can't say for certain.
Or she lived near there, but I don't think it was like... I
mean, Potomac has a very expensive... First of all, Northern Virginia or anywhere in the DMV area, expensive as I don't know what. Anyway.
Trust me. I really am aware.
You ain't got to worry about me. Listen, I live in my tax bracket, so you got to worry about me. But yeah, so I look forward to watching the second episode, and it was nice just to see how much the women have evolved since from that season versus the current season. It was crazy seeing how these little babies are like these mature little young men and women. Like it throws me off to see Giselle's daughters, because I'm like, oh my god, they were so tiny. But yeah. Well, anyways, that was the first episode of Messy RealiTea Breakdown with Ray and Lily, and we'll catch you guys for episode 2. Can't wait to talk about it.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
All right.